Here's a basic overview of the camera tool. When you open, it's on the status tab and it's all red until it finds the game, and then it will slowly read the game's memory in order to go all green. And once it's all green, then you're good to go. Now we will head over to the options menu. Over there is mainly hotkeys, but there's a couple of options. When you first use it, all the hotkeys are set as non-non, and to set a hotkey, just double click on the hotkey. This menu appears, and all you do is insert the hotkey you want and then hit confirm. You can use clear to set it back to non-non and confirm, and it'll set it all back to non-non. There's 4 toggles as well. Disable HUD, which disables in-game UI. There's also disable announcer, which disables stuff like double kill, pentakill, like all the announce attacks. Mouse control, when you toggle this on and you're in default camera, then you can hold down left and right mouse button and move your mouse in a direction, and it will rotate around your mouse. Toggling on sky control brings up this color menu, and from this color menu you can choose your color and it will change the color of the sky in game, which is great for editors to chroma key the sky. And the last 2 options are FPS camera speed and camera mode. So you can swap the camera into the FPS camera, and you can also increase the speed of movement. So you can see here we're flying around, and basically the camera speed basically changes how fast the camera moves. Pretty much for everything, I recommend using the FPS camera. And if we go into camera behavior, there's a lot to take in. This is the automated camera UI pretty much. I just recommend setting the add keyframe hotkey, set the clear keyframes hotkey, and also activate camera hotkey. And if we just jump into game, we can start positioning the camera and press the add keyframe hotkey, and we can just keep on adding keyframes around these minions and zoom in on that kind of minion and add a keyframe right in front of him. And if we just press the activate camera hotkey, then it will just interpolate between the keyframes. Now, if we want to change how quickly it moves through, if you go back to the tool, expand out the keyframe, and then expand out length, you can change how long it took to do that keyframe. So by default, it's on 2.5, which is 2.5 seconds. Now we're going to change 2 and 3 to 1 second, so it will move from keyframe to keyframe 3 in 1 second, then 3 to 4 in 1 second. And as you can see, it speeds up quite dramatically between those 2 points. Now, if we want the camera to trigger itself at a certain point in time, every time you add a keyframe, it stores the replay time. So if we toggle use replay time, and let's rewind the replay back a bit, and when we activate the camera, it will keep itself activated until it hits that point in time where the first keyframe is meant to trigger, which is about 7 minutes 10 seconds. So if we leave it, it will trigger at that time. Now, shadows in the game at certain angles can be quite bad due to how it's handled. So if we pan the camera down, eventually shadows get blurry and it's not great. The reason why it happens is because if you see this white box in the minimap, basically it's trying to render that entire area for shadows rather than just the area we're looking at. So it's quite weird, and when at certain angles it hits the right on the area and just stretches the shadows to infinity. So built into the tool is a shadow fix. So when you toggle on fix shadows, what happens is you give the tool full control over how shadows are rendered. So shadows are drawn in the mid lane, but if we head up top and bottom, there's no shadows drawn at all, because currently middle lane has the shadow currently set to render. And now when we spin around Akali and Lee Sin, the shadows are completely fine. Like, they're not stretching or anything. And when you click update shadows, it will update the shadows to be where the camera is currently at. I recommend reading all about the shadow effects before you jump into it, because there's shadow buffer and shadow area. Shadow area is basically the area in which shadows will be rendered, so that is the main one. But when you increase the area without increasing the buffer, the quality of the shadows will degrade, and there is some quirks behind it. So I recommend reading up before trying to use the shadow effects. And I think that wraps it up for the basic overview.